Hey everybody, I am using a different platform right now. I haven't talked to you guys in a while, and a lot of things have happened in my life, and I just thought I would get on here and share with you guys. I know everybody is sick hearing about COVID. I am too. I'm sick of hearing about COVID and the riots and everything. I just think our world, our country especially, is going to hell. There's so many things that have happened. I don't know if anybody followed me through New York and my Texas trip to help with COVID patients, but it was pretty rough situations. While I was in Texas, I had a patient, you probably saw in my last video if you followed it, that passed away after I had left, and I told him he would walk out of there, so that has really weighed heavy on my heart. And little did I know, my father, when I talked to him from Texas, I FaceTimed him and took him a tour of the unit, keeping patient confidentiality, showed no patients' faces. But I took him and my mother a trip around the unit, and I still see the fear in my dad's face. And little did I know that at that time of giving him and my mother a tour, he was infected with the coronavirus. I buried my dad Tuesday. He died of COVID. And I can't even believe I'm recording this because it's not going to be good. He died. He fought hard. And the hospital did everything right. But never would I have thought that it would hit my family. So, for those of you, a lot of people are posting stuff. I know you're tired of hearing about wearing masks, washing hands, and you're missing work, and the gyms are not opening, and I know you're tired. I know you're tired of hearing it. You're tired of hearing about COVID. I am too. I hate COVID. COVID killed my father. And now, I am out for revenge. I want to send COVID straight to hell. It's personal now. I have it now. I'm feeling much better now today, but yesterday was rough. It's not about me. It's about my dad. I lost my dad. He was my best bud. And I'm so angry. I'm so mad. I'm so hurt. All because people refuse to wear masks. If people would have had masks on and social distance, wash their hands, I am 100% positive my father would still be here. I can't unsee his face and the fear on his face when I took him on that tour. I can't unsee him on the ventilator fighting for his life. And he fought. He would take pictures of his monitor and his oxygen machines and his Vapotherm and his BiPAP. Say, Karen, how's everything looking? Are they doing everything right? Am I doing everything right? And I just said, Dad, keep doing what you're doing. It's looking good. Even though I was worried sick at the high percentages he was on, I honestly felt like he was going to be okay. So, we got the call last Wednesday night at 2:30 in the morning that my dad had taken a turn for the worse. They were putting him on the ventilator, which was everything he didn't want. He kept texting me and telling me, I'm fighting, I don't want to be on the ventilator, I'm fighting to stay off the ventilator, and he did. He just wore himself out. As he went on the ventilator, he hugged the nurse and the respiratory therapist, and he said a lot of other things that I've asked I've asked to find out. He talked to his nurse that night. The nurse said he was precious. I asked him if he was confused before all this happened, before he went on the vent, and he said no, he's absolutely perfect. He's done nothing but talk about his family and his kids, and told what each other did and how they'd rush down here if something happened, which makes my heart happy. But he also texted me that night and he told me he had the perfect escape plan. So that's why I asked his nurse if he was confused or anything, because it just didn't sound right. Then at 2:30 in the morning he was getting put on the ventilator. And at 7:10 that afternoon, my dad passed away. I don't want any sympathy, because I know for a fact my daddy walked through those pearly gates in heaven, and they said, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." My dad was a fantastic man. He was a family man. He was a church man. He was a Christian. And he loved life. I'm just mad because I feel like he should still be here. I just want you all to, he can make fun of me, whatever. I've had so much stuff happen, I don't really care. I just want you all to, those of you that will, take it serious. And I'm considering continuing to fight COVID. I love my job teaching, and I would never leave them in a bind. But my heart is telling me to go get revenge, because now it's personal. It took my father. My mother had it. My husband had it. I've had it. My sons had it. But my father was the sickest. Many others have had symptoms. They just weren't tested. So, please take it serious if you will. Put yourself in my shoes. Pretend it's your mother or your father that was so sick. I can't unsee how sick he was. And I thank all of the nurses at how good they were to us. And that's the kind of nurse I am. I'm good to the family. I do what I'm supposed to do. So I feel like I'm being called to go back. I don't know if I'm speaking out of grief or anger. And I don't know if I'm mentally capable or ready to go again. But I emailed the company. And I told them, I said, this is personal. I want revenge. Would you have me on another tour? I immediately got a response and said, yes, I'm going to have somebody to call you. So I have a couple weeks to make up my mind. And of course, if I left my job at the college, I would work my notice and wouldn't leave them in a bind, because I love those girls and I love my students. So I'm just asking for those of you that believe in prayer, if you'd say one or two for me, for my whole family. Of course, we're grieving. My mom's grieving. She was married to him for 53 years. And I can't believe he's gone. I keep thinking, if he was still here, what would he say if I told him I was going wherever they tell me to go? And the thing I keep hearing is him saying, little Kay, you do what you have to do. I don't know what I have to do, so I'm praying for answers, and I'm asking you all to pray for me some answers to. Please don't post anything and say, I'm so sorry, I feel so sorry for you. I don't want any of that. I just want you to know how serious it is. How people are making a mockery out of it pissed me off because my father died. How people are saying the death rate numbers are nothing. Even if the death rate numbers were only 1, my father is in those numbers, so those death rates are something. I have a big heart and I want to help. But I also have a big mouth and I don't know if I'm ready to help. I've talked to my husband, my kids, and they tell me to do what I have to do. Just what my dad would say. My oldest son told me that if I trained the students, they could go out and be warriors like I was, so I was still technically helping Papa. So that was a very good point that he had. I'm just in a struggle. I start back work Monday, and again, I would never leave them in a bind. I've always worked notices. I've never left anybody in binds. But just please pray that God will give me the answer, what He wants me to do. Maybe I'm looking too hard. I don't know. But, gosh, sure just never knew that I would be in this position and would have married my father to this disease. I hate it. I freaking hate this disease. And this is not very Christian-like for me to say, but whoever made this disease, and I do have a feeling it's man-made, I want them to pay. Because they took a precious man from me. They made my mother sick. They made my husband sick. They made my youngest son sick. They made me sick. And they've made many others sick that have never gotten tested that know they were positive. So, with all that being said, I want you to just please pray for me and my family. And I did want to show those of you that have followed me in the past. My dad bought me this. May the 24th for my birthday. And this. And little did he know that he would die of a pandemic as well. There's been a lot of little things that have happened here and there. And I even had a friend say, I think God sent you to New York and Texas to help with this disease so you would know how to take care of your father, because the Lord knew your dad was going to succumb to this disease. And I've not thought of it that way. But that does make me feel better. And I will say, the facility he was at was wonderful, and they did everything right. So that gives me comfort. They let us see him. They let us be there with him when he passed away. I begged my daddy to stay, and I know it was his time that God wanted him. I just hate that he had to suffer like he did, because those last few hours he suffered. I think my daddy knew I was a fixer. His heart rate was 99. We knew he wasn't going to make it. But his heart rate was 99, and I said, I think I'm just going to go to the lobby and just sit down for a few minutes. So I went out to the lobby and I sat down, and I looked at my clock, and it was 7:05 because they were giving shift report, and I know the importance of privacy, so I left so I wouldn't violate any HIPAA violations. At 7:10, my dad passed away. At 7:07, 7:08, the nurse, Becca, came running out to me and said, you need to get back in here. His heart rate was 20 when I got back in there. So he knew that he was going, and he knew that I stepped out, and he was afraid I would fix him. So that's why that makes me smile to know that he was ready. And I maybe read way too much into that, but the coincidence was just too weird. I think he knew. He's probably saying, little K, or little Karen, or KJ, she's gonna fix me if I don't do this now. So I walk out, and a couple minutes later, my father passed away. So those of you watching, please don't put anything negative on here. I'm not saying anything negative about anybody, so please be respectful. My family and I are going through a rough time right now, and I don't know that I could deal with any of the negative comments, so I'm trying to tell myself not to read them. I will tell you this, this might just make me lose a bunch of fans here. Here's who my daddy would have voted for. And me too. So, Daddy, this is for you. Hope I didn't just lose everybody, but if I did, that's okay. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. I don't know that I'll ever have any more updates or videos or anything. It depends on what the Lord tells me I need to do, whether I'm going to teach or whether I'm going to continue fighting. So just pray for a result, pray for an answer, pray for our family, and I'll pray your family doesn't have to go through what we're going through, because it sucks. Until we meet again, I will talk to you guys later. I'm signing off. See you, bye.